Well, let's talk to Nick Kuh, creator of Mute, which is an app that encourages you to get off your phone. Morning to you. So basically, you develop apps for smartphones.
Right.
So you developed an app for a smartphone to get you off the smartphone.
I have, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people buying these dumb phones, but I feel that there's some kind of middle ground. I think a lot of us feel we spend a lot of time on our phones and we want to kind of cut down. So that's what my app does. So it tracks how much time you spend on your phone, and then it motivates you. It makes you feel good when you take time out and have little detoxes.
So how does it do that exactly? Does it send you an alarm or say, you know, congratulations, you've been off the phone for 10 minutes?
Yeah, that's exactly what it does. So, so let's say you go to the gym one day, and maybe you're not using your phone, you spend a couple of hours off your phone. When you come out of the gym and you first check your phone, it's going to say, hey, nice work. You know, you've broken your digital detox goal. You've spent 2 hours off your phone. And so it actually uses those techniques that social media use to draw us in and kind of give us that hit for a like or a comment. But actually, it uses that technique when you don't use your phone to say nice work. And
but then it's added stress, isn't it? Because then you haven't achieved your detox goals, and that's another thing to worry about.
It's quite flexible, so it kind of adapts to your phone usage. So, you know, there are people using Mute who spend 10 hours a day on their phone, and there are people using Mute who spend an hour. So it shifts and adjusts. And
I wonder what your perspective is, though. And so, I mean, I was intrigued because the fact you mentioned the gym. Now, of course, a lot of people using their phones to help them exercise and tracking and all that sort of business. We use it for staying in touch, for the emails, for work, for calendars. I mean, it is an integral part of life now. Do you think it is fair? Not that people want to cut down a bit, I can understand that, but the idea of saying, right, we need to come off everything completely, we need to go back to, I mean, in effect, back to the dark ages with something like this. I mean, is that actually necessary?
I don't think there's one solution that fits all. So for some, that might be the change they need to make. And then for most of us, I would argue that we just want to kind of have a little bit more. There's two parts to it. There's one about actually knowing how much time you spend on your phone, because you might think you spend an hour, and it turns out when you install one of these apps, you spend 2 or 3 hours. So that's being aware. And then there's also the kind of draw to constantly check our phones.
I just wonder if we're inventing a problem. Do you know what I mean? Where one doesn't exist.
I mean, there's proven scientific research now that, you know, excessive time on social media can lead to depression and loneliness. You know, seeing what all your friends are doing and the parties they're going to, and maybe you're missing out. I mean, maybe you guys aren't missing out, but others might be.
No,
oh,
we're always
FOMO.
aware it's
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Were you driven to this app solution because you found that you had a particular problem?
Yeah, the story is that I've got a 15-year-old son, and my wife and I sat down at the dinner table, and I just confiscated his iPad because he was on it far too long and he wasn't coming to the dinner table. So we sat down, after this row, and then my phone bleeped, and it was some pointless text or tweet, and I made the mistake of going to check it, and he called me out on it, and he said, "Dad, you know, you're a hypocrite. I reckon you spend more time on your phone than I do on my iPad." And I thought, maybe he's got something there. So yeah, that's where the original idea originated.
It's quite interesting to tone things down a little bit. I've got to ask you, you're an app developer.
Yes.
This isn't your only app, presumably, or is it?
No, it's not.
No, so you develop other apps which actually encourage people to use their phones.
Absolutely, I'm from the dark side. You know, I've built apps for poker players, and I've also built health and fitness apps. So yeah, I make a living from building apps for other people, so I know those techniques.
Now you're going to encourage people not to use your other apps, aren't you?
You know what, if I'm a victim of my own success, then so be it, you know.
Nick, really good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. If you've got your smartphone handy this morning, send us a tweet, let us know what you think, at Sky Stephen, at Sky Gillian.
In the meantime, still to come, all the sport.